Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Etech Leadership Table, a podcast where we invite you to pull up a chair, grab your favorite cup of coffee, and join us as we tackle some remarkable discussions on everything leadership, my favorite. I'm Melissa Wood, your host, the Dean of Leadership Development at Etech Global Services. Our topic at the table today, or if you will, table talk, is how do we create a passionate workforce? And sitting with me at the table today, we have our very own Kaylene Eckels. She is the COO at Etech Global Services. She comes to Etech with previously 10 years of Dun & Bradstreet. Kaylene has been awarded the 2019 Silver Award for Woman of the Year. That is phenomenal. She's had several Jackie Robinson Awards for Inclusion. I know personally I've seen her receive many teachability awards at Etech, and she's my personal friend, and I love to have a cup of coffee with her. Welcome, Kaylene.
Hey, good morning, Melissa. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited we can sit here together and have a chat over creating a passionate workforce.
Absolutely excited to be here today.
It makes me think about how passionate you are. I don't know if our listeners know or not, but you remember that time we went on an offsite and we were going to do some zip lining, and everybody, I'm not sure if everybody was really ready for this experience or not, and you had the team doing cheers and excited, all dressed in the same color as we all embarked on our zip lining adventure. Do you remember that day?
Yes, the tie-dye t-shirts. We have some great memories from that teaming event, and it was all departments coming together. Just loved the opportunity to have some fellowship with everyone and really lean into getting to know everyone and becoming a stronger team.
Yeah, at that moment, I just knew that this is definitely where you stood out. And when we were talking about the table talk of today, we talked about the passionate workforce. I thought to myself, this Kaylene is, I think, the key person I want to sit down with and have a cup of coffee and talk about this. So do you mind if I ask you a few questions about passionate workforce?
No, not at all. I'm excited to be here, and I may break out into cheer. I remember I thought maybe you were going to talk about a time I was in India, and our whole team there from Vadodara and Gandhinagar, Veronica and I taught them a cheer. It could happen today. We might bust out into cheer in a little bit.
Hey, I have some cheerleading experience myself. Maybe we can convince Etech to do a video podcast. That would just probably go viral. I'm not sure we're ready for that.
I love it.
So just tell me, we talk about passionate workforce and we understand how critical it is, especially when we talk about leadership development. And one of my favorite authors and friend is John Maxwell. And he has a saying, he says, a leader is the one who sees more than others see. A leader is one who sees farther than others see. And a leader is one who sees before others see. And when we talk about passionate workforce, we really have to put ourselves in that mindset. So what do you think are the major factors that drive employee performance?
Driving employee performance. First of all, I love that quote by John Maxwell. And so when I think about driving employee performance, it's really, how do we set people up for success, right? Because that's ultimately what we're here to do, is add value to others and really set them up for success. 3 C's come to mind. The first C, if you will, I think about connect. You have to connect people with the right opportunities, get people in the right seat on the bus, so to speak. And then, of course, you need to connect them with the right tools and resources and training and really equip them. And I believe most people buy into equipping, at least initially. At Etech, we believe development is a journey. So it's not something that we do at the beginning, but it's something that we do throughout our tenure here, our careers here. And we're here to support lifelong growth and development. So important. You mentioned earlier teachability. It's one of our character commitments. A lot of companies call those values, but here at Etech, teachability is one of our character commitments, and we really focus on that. The second C, I would say, if you want to drive employee performance, is you have to have clarity. It's so important everyone knows what's expected and how and when it will be measured. It's important you see it's woven through what we teach, like goal setting and setting expectations. These are all great things that, Melissa, you and your team spend so much time and care. It really teaching us how to do this effectively with great clarity. And you also see this in our coaching cycle. So when we're transferring a skill to someone, we spend a lot of time with role play, making sure that there's great confidence and really it's clear what's expected, how to demonstrate that behavior. And then we monitor that behavior to make sure that it was executed correctly and reward people when it is executed correctly.
Right.
And if it's not applied correctly, we have to self-assess. Did I really transfer that skill the way that it needed to be, or do I need to go back and help that person again? And then the third C, I think when it's coming to driving performance, it's all about care. And this is the most important one. So really, I should have said this first, but I've learned over time, this is my personal learning, that care is most important when you're trying to drive performance and add value and set them up for success. It's all about building quality relationships and getting to know your team and allowing them to know you. If I understand what motivates you and gets you out of bed in the morning and coming to work each day, and excited, I'm going to be better positioned to help tie back what it is that you need to do with how it's going to help you with your why and achieving your goals.
Those are awesome. You know, growing up, I always like to sit at the leadership, I like to sit at the table. We had some of our most healthy discussions with my family at the table. My family now, we have some of our most in-depth discussions at the table. This table talk with you today, this is a different podcast. People sometimes just listen to podcasts just for some basic knowledge. You're actually giving practical application with these 3 C's, the connect, clarity, and care. I'm taking notes at the table. So I should mean something at the table for sure. When we talk about the connect, clarity, and care, we have to figure out some kind of tactical ways to spark some passion in our team members, in our communities, and with each other. So tell us specifically, how do you spark employees' passion? That's such a hard thing to do sometimes.
Yeah. It can be a bit of a mystery, but I think one important thing is to make sure that we have engagement. And that goes back to getting to know each person and really what motivates them, connecting, what they're doing with their why that we just talked about, and helping them to achieve their goals. I'd say it's equally important to know what drains your people, because as leaders, we want to make sure that we're teeing people up to be passionate, to be successful, and we're not demonstrating anything that's going to take away from that or drain them. I think empowerment is also important to spark employees' passion, creating opportunities for people to really grow and to shine. So the lesson I learned was to stop doing things for people. I used to think I was adding value, helping you by doing something for you. Let me take care of that. I got this. I'll take care of it for you. But really, I was not helping to empower my team to learn to do things for themselves. And one great way to do that, to empower people to do things for themselves, if you're unsure, is to role play with them and help them, have that discussion in a trial basis, role playing with you. And once you're confident that they've got it, let them go out and have that discussion. And what I found is that they're going to do it better than I will. And
True.
it's just amazing, the creativity and how well they execute when you tee them up and empower them.
I know you've been in the industry for how many years now? Have you been in the industry?
Melissa, you asking me that question, really? I would say about 25 years.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations first. But, when you're talking about giving the ball back to someone else and sparking their energy and sparking their creativity. I know over 25 years, you've probably seen that when you really hand it over to them, they just do it so much better than we ever could have done it, right? I wish I'd have known.
Absolutely.
It's just that's probably, for me now, I have about the same amount of years in the industry. That's probably one of my most rewarding things, is to probably see how I would limit someone, but when I hand it over to them, they take it way further than I could have ever imagined, and that sparks passion. As you were talking, I started thinking about a quote from Plato, and it says, "The first and best victory is victory to conquer self." And I see been able to do that over the years with spark and passion, and allow people to embrace their own passion. So let's come down to, how do we ensure that at Etech, we really talk a lot about servant leadership and growth and development, and these are not just words. This is how we live. This is how we do things. And how does Etech ensure that the employee has a potential career growth, but balancing that with work-life balance?
That's a really good question. Easy says, hard does sometimes.
Yeah, true.
And our goal here at Etech is really to get the best from people, and career growth, it's vital. We want and need people to grow. I think it starts with hiring people who are humble, hungry, and smart. You talk a lot about that. Matt Rocco, our president and CEO, talks a lot about that. Just finding people who are passionate about wanting to grow, right? And wanting to add value and build from there. It's interesting when we talk about career growth. I was in a training class in Dallas a couple of weeks ago, and I was just giving them a little history about myself and how I had started as a frontline team member. I was an agent selling outbound, B2B products to businesses. And one of the team members, they said, we've talked to 2 other senior leaders and a channel manager here at Etech, and all of you have started on the phones. They said, if you've done that, imagine what we're going to be able to do. And it was so true. Even our executives, everyone started in a frontline role, and it just shows that the growth potential, I think. So one, start with the right people, right? People who are humble, hungry, and smart. I think leading by example is also important. This was another lesson learned by me. I get up in the middle of the night sometimes and would be sending emails at 2 a.m. And then my team's responding, and then their team's responding. And this is a true story, and I'll not share the names to protect the.
I remember the story.
To protect the team, but I realized then that it has to start with me, and me with my team setting the expectation. That there's nothing that needs to be sent at 2 a.m. in the morning, because what you'll find is that people are going to start responding and not have that work-life balance that we all want for them. I think also in creating opportunities is important for career growth. That's our responsibility as leaders, is to create those opportunities. And so at Etech, we really have a culture of ongoing growth and development to prepare people over a period of time, which has really been a game changer for us. And your department, Melissa, and you and your leadership has been so important there. I would say we're intentional about this with programs like our aspiring leaders and new leader assimilation and remarkable coaching tactics, and really getting everyone involved at all levels of leadership to be part of these programs and to participate, to lead, and to learn. Succession planning has been really important for us here at Etech, identifying those key roles and making sure that we have successors identified, and then identify, what skills will they need to really prepare for them, so that over time, not tomorrow, but over time, we can add value for them by helping give them opportunities to learn those skills, grow those skills. I think another thing that's important in creating career growth while having work-life balance is providing resources to people. So I think about Etech's tuition reimbursement which we have revamped over the years. Really proud of this program and our ability to provide tuition reimbursement to students, but we've opened it up to for people to pursue certifications and just learn skills that will help them in their current role and future roles. And then even we have employee teams that are centered around this, a work-life balance team, wellness, community action teams. Those all really support that work-life balance and give us opportunities to do life together, I think is fun too. I love getting together with other team members and leaders at Etech and really getting involved in our communities and having an opportunity to get to know their families. And we just all come together and are able to really participate in life together.
Yeah, I think that I am taking so many notes here. We're going to have to make sure we do a video so everyone can see all the notes I'm taking. But I just really want to point out that do life together. I just recently saw some pictures and talked to one of our VPs this morning, Patrick Reynolds, about going to a Baylor University game this past weekend. And he just really brought some passion back into his face when I saw him. And he talked about it, and just that doing life together really, I really think it's the secret sauce in kind of what we do. And then what you talked about is being intentional and providing opportunity. I really think that Etech sets the stage of that. We don't just talk about it, we actually are doing it. We call it get our boots muddy. We don't like clean, we like to have muddy boots. We actually like to follow through on some of these things that we do. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you called that a Baylor game, by the way.
I know, that was for you to call out a Baylor game. I don't know if you want to do a Baylor cheer. I don't know if our listeners know, but are you still a Green Bay Packers huge fan?
Oh my goodness, yes. All the way, Green Bay Packers. I wish you could see my office right now. I'm looking at my Favre jersey, my Rodgers jersey, my Favre helmet. It's really our president and CEO's helmet. He's a huge Green Bay Packers fan too, ironically, and but I'm keeping that for him. I'm just watching it vigilantly for him.
I know he appreciates that. He does bring a lot of love for sports and our community into all of our lives, and definitely it's woven into our company's servant leadership culture, and that's all thanks to him for sure. Matt Rocco is probably the single most important reason I know that you and I are here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really love these table talks. I love sitting down and talking about everything servant leadership at the table. I appreciate you joining us today, and I can't wait to pull up at the table again with you one day and having another discussion over another topic. Thanks for sharing your wisdom, your passion, and your guidance, and just thank you for being my personal friend. I enjoy working with you.
Thank you, Melissa. The feeling is mutual, and I learn from you every day. So thank you for being there and supporting me and our entire Etech family.
Well, until next time, just warm up a cup of coffee, and I'll see you at the table, our next discussion. You guys have a great day.